Teyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasangati Bodhi Swatyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Prasangati Bodhi Swatyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasangati Bodhi Swatyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasangati Bodhi Swaha. Okay, where did we leave? Where did we leave?
On the second of the four
For essentials?
essentials.
Okay. So now, okay, any questions before we go further? Any questions? Leora, you were about to ask one question before. I asked you to hold it at the end.
שאלה מאתמול. אמרת שדיברנו על
We
זה.
asked it during the, it was the question we raised.
About the new
Neutral, okay. Okay. Any more questions?
I don't know if it fits here, but I heard about experiences of understanding wisdom, not in another way, like the non-dual way, the
Non-dual wisdom. Non-dual experience of emptiness.
So I heard many teachers in YouTube that they tell about this experience that they spontaneously they felt after studying and seeking meditations, and they spontaneously felt that their I is not exist anymore. It disappeared. It's as if it died. So how come? And they feel like they are one with everything. So they see the tree, they see you, but it's not. There's no self-centered or self-grasping or I don't know. Can you explain?
So the moment, so non-dual. When you speak about non-dual, say that people, how they understand it, it differs. So first you have to check the background of the person who used this word non-dual. If the person has philosophical studies, if the person went through philosophical studies intensively for many years, how they use the word non-dual is very different from how people who they did not really go through studies so extensively, how they use the non-dual word is very different. So you have to check that. Mm-hmm. If the other person has gone through the really many years of training,
I believe so.
don't just believe, you have to check it. You have to check it. Because there are many people who actually, who start teaching, who have no extensive learning themselves, right? And they can freely use these words, non-dual and so on, because they have heard from somewhere else, right? So therefore, this is what we should be very careful. It doesn't mean that those people who are not exposed to extensive learning, they don't know anything. This is not reality. They may know so many things, we never know. They may have experience, we never know. The point is that how they use the word non-duality and how somebody from a very standard monastic universities, for example, like say from any of this era, Debung Ganden, and then also from Sakya, Kaikyu, Nyingma, Kiluk, from any tradition, who are exposed to the philosophical studies for many years, at least like 10, 12, 20 years, how they use the word non-duality, they will not use it lightly. Whereas people who are not exposed to extensive studies, they will use this word non-duality very easily, right? So how they use, what they mean is very different, right? The moment you say that you see this, you see the flower twin is not non-duality. This is how the non-duality is not understood. The moment you see something, you see flower is there. The flower, I'm seeing as subject, object duality already arises, right? So this kind of the extensive, the learning, people just rule this out, and then simply they have some experience of detachment. This they call as non-duality. This is not. So the point is that we should be very careful. So the point is that don't jump to the conclusion that that somebody used the word non-duality, so therefore this is, don't go like this. You have to study very extensively, particularly study the very standard books. Eventually you must study the standard books like Acharya Chandrakirti's texts, or Nagarjuna's text. Even if you're not from the big monastic university, it doesn't matter. Even by being in Tel Aviv, in Israel, you can study these things yourself.
Also
right?
by inquiring who am I,
So the point is simply by by sitting by myself, or what is quantum physics. I speculated myself, I will never get quantum physics. If I really want to do quantum physics, I have to study what was taught by Niels Bohr. Don't just go to the YouTubes, somebody who have no really understanding quantum physics. They speak talk about quantum. I also talk about quantum physics a lot sometimes, but my quantum physics is just nothing. If you really want to know quantum physics, don't learn from me. Learn from Niels Bohr.
Yeah.
If you want to learn about relativity theory, don't learn from me. Learn from Einstein. You getting it? So this is what I'm saying. If you want to know about the non-dual and so forth, study Acharya Chandrakirti's texts. Or a Nagarjuna's text. Don't just listen to the people who are in the YouTube, right? And the real big teachers, they don't really come on the YouTubes. People like me come on the YouTube, right? Big teachers, like my teachers, they're all hiding in the monastic universities. They don't come on the YouTubes, right? Don't take the YouTube as so serious.
Nagarjuna is not speaking on the YouTube.
That's right. Yeah. So what I'm saying, if you want to know Nagarjuna philosophy, study from him. Don't study from
But
YouTube.
if there is one, here there are sages today.
Okay, good. Now we have no time. We have no time for such small discussions because we have only 2 minutes last. So still we have many more things to cover. Okay, any questions? Because I'm waiting for others. I'm waiting for Leo Radha. So it seems like the Tamar may not be coming. It's fine. Okay, they have already heard about these things before many times, right? Okay, so let's say that now we try to summarize what we did already, the 4 essentials. Let us summarize this. Let us summarize this. Okay, first, before we do the practice meditation on the emptiness, we will quickly do the overview. Okay, let's say that the flower. Go to the flower. Don't forget this example of the Buddha picture. Buddha picture on the screen and the dots of the demon's faces. Don't forget that example. So that example you apply to the flower. That example you apply to yourself. That example that you apply to the people, difficult people. That example you apply to the people to whom you feel so attached to. That example you apply to, say, anything what you are so fond of, like whatever, say cheesecake or chocolate or falafel or whatever. So whatever you feel so attached to, see if you can apply this to the object. And with this application, somehow you feel that what I feel so attached to, there's nothing really there. I'm so deceived. If this is coming to you, you are in a proper track. Still, it doesn't guarantee that experience emptiness, but you're in a proper track, right? It's not just a belief. You come to realize that there's nothing really there for me to feel attached to, right? There's nothing really there for me to feel averse to. If that is coming and very deeply ingrained, that it doesn't waver, Today, oh, there's nothing really. Tomorrow, yes, there's something. Again, that you are totally guaranteed. For example, here, if I say that, okay, in my hand there's a snake, you will say 100% there's no snake. You can say this. Even if I bring, the Akbar inside and many other people, yes, there's a snake. Everybody says, yes, there's a snake. You said, no, 100% there's no snake. You're guaranteed, right? You're very sure of this feeling, this confidence when it comes to you, and because of which, then you're slow, and then the change on the emotional world. Change in the emotional world will happen very slowly. It's not this drastic change happening. You realize you get experience emptiness, and from tomorrow your anger subsides, your attention subsides. It's not true. Change in the emotional world will take a little time. For example, say we learned about yesterday the mathematical calculation. Although you know the mathematical calculation, but your mind is not fast, and negative emotions are very fast. You're getting it? So now, how to do it? What you're convinced of seeing emptiness, you practice it over and over again. The more you practice it, the more the negative emotions they're affected. Slowly, deep inside. Otherwise, a particular situation could have triggered agitation in you, easily irritated you. Now you are under control, you're very calm, peaceful, not as affected. You may be surprised to yourself. How come that there's such a change happening in me now? I don't become irritated with the same situation. Otherwise, like 1 year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, I would become so agitated, irritated. Now it doesn't really irritate me anymore. I could maintain the calmness. So the point is that this, once you experience that, then it's so precious. Precious means you have to be with it. You have to familiarize with it over and over again. Then the effect will be slowly seen. Okay, with this in mind, the overview of what we're saying, let's look at this flower. Let us apply this to the flower, the 4 essentials. And then you apply this to yourself, to your husband, to your wife, to your children, to your neighbors, to anything that you feel emotionally stimulated. Just try to apply this to these things. Okay, let's try to apply this to the flower. Then after this, we'll do it on the self. First, the flower. The flower, we see that they say the 4 essentials. What's the first essential?
Identify the object.
Okay, now we should have the 4 essentials on our fingertips. What is the first one?
Identify the
Essential of identifying the object of negation. Okay, what is to be negated is objective existence of the flower. Meaning that the flower exists independently of my mind. How I see the flower's object independently from my mind, that is not objective. That is deceptive. That is not true. How can I know that it's not true? Now, if the flower were to exist objectively, if the mirage were to be water, why not those close by the mirage see water? If the flower were to exist objectively, why don't I see the flower as I go closer to the object? Okay, now let us go closer to this object. Going closer to the object, right? How we go through the electron microscope, going closer to the object, we see that this flower is nothing but made of innumerable cells, right? And the cells are made of cell membrane, nucleus, cytoplasm. And the nucleus is made of chromosomes. Chromosomes is made of molecules, DNA molecules. And the molecules are made of atoms. So you just going like this. Okay, let's say we reach the level of the atom. Stay there for a while. Stay there. You can go beyond. But as of now, electron microscope, it can go till like atoms and electrons is not really seen. Atom is what we see by the electron microscope. Okay, let's say atoms. Stay there. Now, through this, what are you seeing? What are you seeing? You are seeing
Atoms.
millions of atoms. Atoms, positive phenomena, negative phenomena.
Positive.
Huh?
Positive phenomenon.
Atoms.
Yes.
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 Okay, good. Atoms are positive phenomena, right? Then where's the flower?
The what?
Where is the flower?
No
What is
flower.
the-
Disappeared.
The flower disappears. I'm asking you, I'm not asking somebody else. The flower disappears. Disappears means it's empty, it's not there. You're getting it? It's not there. Not there, not and empty mean the same. So the flower's empty. Emptiness of the flower. Emptiness of the flower. Positive, negative.
Negative.
Negative. Okay. Millions of atoms
Positive.
and the emptiness of the flower. These two are same isolate or different isolate?
Different isolate.
Ah.
The atom is positive. The empty is negative.
Wonderful. Same, these two are same entity or different entities? Same entity, different isolates. So you're getting it? These two are different isolates. Now different isolates means how it comes to your mind is different. So now how it comes to our mind is different. Pick up the second isolate. What's the second isolate? Isolate is the emptiness of the flower. Pick up the second isolate. If the first isolate comes to your mind, means the atoms, you are not meditating emptiness. You're getting it? So therefore, if you understand isolate and the entities, this is extremely helpful to get the emptiness correctly. Otherwise, many people in the past who are not exposed to, many people who are not exposed to this concept of isolate entities, positive and negative, right? They are so pious, dedicated, devoted to Dharma. They go into the mountains, they leave everything to meditate on emptiness. Finally, when they meditate, they see what? They go into the atomic level, then they see the atoms, stay there, just see the atoms, stay there. They think that they meditate on emptiness. The flower disappears, but the atoms appear. So they stay there and meditate on emptiness of flower. It is not. Is it or is it not?
No.
Why not?
Because we see the atoms not as objective existence.
You are seeing the atoms? You are seeing the atoms? This is not emptiness. Why it is not emptiness?
Because we see the atom.
Atoms are what?
Emptiness, it's nothing.
In itself.
It's positive.
Because atoms are the positive phenomena
Yeah.
and the emptiness is a negative phenomena. You're getting it? Negative and positive doesn't mean virtues, non-virtues. Alright? Negative, positive has so many connotations. Okay, so the flower, the moment atoms come to your mind, you're not meditating emptiness because atoms are the positive phenomena and emptiness should be seen as a negative phenomena. Right? Okay, then how do you get to emptiness then? Then you ask the second question. There are two questions. First, what are you seeing now? I'm seeing the millions of atoms. This is not the meditative emptiness. This is the stepping stone to the meditative emptiness. Right? Now, how to get to emptiness? Ask the second question. Where's the flower? Answer is, it disappears, it's empty. So you get the isolate of the emptiness of flower. When you get it, stay there. Stay there. It's difficult to stay there because our mind is addicted. Okay, let's see. What is in my hand?
Nothing.
Nothing is there. Absence of flower is there?
Yes.
Yes. Right? Okay, absence of flower. Are you seeing the absence of flower?
Yes.
Are you seeing my palms?
Yes.
Yes. Right? Palm is positive, negative?
Positive.
Positive. Absence of flower is positive, negative?
Negative.
Negative. While you're looking at the negative, you're still seeing the positive.
Yes.
You're getting it? This is a problem. So our mind is so addicted to seeing positive things. So therefore, to abide in the experience of the non-offering negative is very difficult. So we have to practice in this. We have to habituate in this. You're getting it? Okay, this is very precious part. Very precious part. Say I can teach emptiness. Right? I can teach, oh, there's nothing objectively real, like this is. And then I teach 5 days and I leave. But you don't know how to meditate emptiness. You may go into the atoms and stay there. Right? So this part, that there are two isolates. Atoms and the absence, isolate of the atoms, which is positive phenomena, and the isolate of the absence of the emptiness of the flower, which is the non-affirmative negative. Of the two, you have to pick up the second one. At the moment you meant to pick up the second one, automatically the first one comes. The moment first comes, you're not meditating emptiness. Again, you go back to the two questions. What are two questions? First question, what are you seeing? I'm seeing millions of atoms. What's the second question? Where is the flower? It is empty. The moment you say it is empty, emptiness of the flower, it hits you, though very briefly, right? It hits you, and again it will go, it will disappear. Again the atoms will come back. So this is how you have to exercise, and slowly the duration of the emptiness of the flower will last longer, and at one point, whenever you want the emptiness of the flower, it comes to your mind. Right? It is through meditation.
So I need to think about the positive and the negative to get to the emptiness.
Exactly. Yes.
To the negative.
To get to the
And
emptiness.
stay there.
Yes. To get to the emptiness, you have to see the emptiness is always negative phenomena. Whenever you use a positive phenomena, you have to know that it's not emptiness. You have to go to the negative phenomena, which is the emptiness of the flower, emptiness of the cell, and stay there.
What is to mean to stay there? To make a research there?
Okay. This is
Or
still
just to observe?
just observe it. Just observe it. Observe the emptiness of the flower. Okay, good. So with this now, our point is, okay, we have gone too close to the object with the flower. We are seeing the millions of atoms. We're getting it? Okay. What is the second essential? Essential of understanding the emptiness of the objects being one with its parts. Okay, this word may be a little technical. But what it means is that you go into the atoms. Atoms are the parts of the flower, or not the plants? They are the parts. So the parts of the flower, the atoms, are they the flower?
No.
Yeah.
They are
You need to
not.
collect them.
No.
If you see all the parts.
Listen. You have gone to the level of the atoms. Right? What you're seeing is now you have seen the atoms, but you are not seeing the flower. If the atoms are the flower, you should be seeing the flower. You're not seeing the flower. You getting it?
Yeah.
Atoms are not the flower. Flower arises by dependence on the atoms. These you have to make distinction. Flower comes in by dependence on the atoms, but the atoms are not the flower. Don't forget it. Atoms are not the flower. If you know that the atoms are not the flower, you have understood the second essential. That the flower is not one with its parts. If you know that what you see as the atoms, these are not the flower. If you know this, you have understood this second essential. Essential of the empty, essential of the understanding that what? Essential of understanding the emptiness of the objects being one with its parts. Second essential, you've understood it. If you come to see the atoms and you realize that these atoms are not the flower. Okay, when you see this at the flower through the electron microscope and you see the atoms, tell me, are these atoms that you're seeing, are these the flower?
No.
No, if you say no, you already understood the second essential. That the flower is not one with its parts, the atoms. You've already understood the second essential. Now what is the third essential?
Essential of understanding that the object is different than its parts.
Essential of understanding of the emptiness of the object, not the object different, right? That the emptiness of the object being different from its parts. So now, again this word may be a little technical, it doesn't matter, it's very easy. The understanding is that remove the atoms, remove the parts. Do you see the flower as different from the parts? Remove the parts, then is the flower left behind? No. Remove the parts, nothing is left there. So the flower is not different from the parts also. It is empty of being different from the part. The flower, remove the parts, what is left there? Nothing is there. Flower is left there? No. Flower is not there. Remove the atoms, there is no flower there. So the flower is not different from the parts also. If you know this, you have understood the third essential. Essential of understanding the emptiness of the objects being different from the parts. You've understood this. Right? Okay, essential number 3 gone. Now if you know that the flower is not one with the parts, no different from the parts, what is there from the object then? Where's the flower which exists from the object? Nothing there. So this is If you understand that the flower is not one with the parts, know that it's different from the parts, then what is from the object? Then the flower doesn't exist from the object. If you know this, you have understood the fourth essential. Essential pervasion, that anything which is empty or being one with or different from the parts entails the emptiness of objective existence of the object. Okay, the point is, okay, let me say this.
Okay.
If somebody tells me that you have taken my Rolex watch, if somebody blames me, and it is in your hand right now, it is in your hand. How many hands I have? 2 hands, right? So what I do, if it is my hands, then it should be either in my right hand or in the left hand. So what I do is first I open my right hand. It's empty. It's not there. It's not true. But it may be in the left hand. Then I open the left hand. It's empty. So now the right hand is also empty. Left hand is empty. So if the Rolex watch is not in my right hand, nor in the left hand, which means Rolex watch is not in my hand. Likewise, if the flower is not one with the parts or different from the parts, then the flower does not exist from the object. Right? If you understand this, then you've understood the fourth essential. Fourth essential, this is a technical term where you have to know the words in Hebrew. Right? Essential, understand the pervasion. Pervasion means that if the Rolex watch is not in my right hand and left hand no in the left hand, means, pervasion means, so that means pervasion that the Rolex watch is not in my hands, that the flower does not exist objectively. If the flower exists objectively, there are only 2 options. Either the atom should be the flower or different from the atom should be the flower. None of these 2 is true. So therefore, what is there from the object? Nothing is there as the objective flower. Right? If you understand this, you've understood the fourth essential. Essential is the pervasion, that anything which is empty of this English word. Right? English word, you have to get the Hebrew. Then they will sound very natural in your mind.
Don't exist if you don't exist.
So therefore, this is what we have to seek help of Gilala. Right? Okay, that in Hebrew.
Anything that is
You must get it in Hebrew. It's going to be your language. So therefore, it's very natural and you can understand very easily. Right? Okay. For me, although English is not my language, but because I've been saying so many times, every Bodhicitta retreat, this is our 16th Bodhicitta retreat. And every Bodhicitta retreat, I say it like 10, 20, 100 times. So therefore, I'm used to this, right? Okay, so the point is that we have understood the. Now the point is, right? Okay. Say, what is the conclusion? Conclusion is very complicated. What's the conclusion?
No, it's empty.
No. Conclusion that you wrote.
Objectivity of the object.
is
Give back to me the complete which I gave you. I think
Essential understanding, probation,
Emptiness of objectivity of the object.
And Isik is saying that you need to look at us. Wow, you wrote it there.
before one?
No.
מסקנה בכלל שאנחנו
המסקנה שלה בעולם.
Yes, Leon. Yeah, tell me, Leon. Leon, don't tell me. Tell Isik.
Emptiness of the objectivity of the object is the objectivity of the object.
Wonderful.
כן, זה המסקנה.
אז זה הארבע.
לא ארבע, זה אחרי ארבע.
Okay. So we wrote that, right? This morning I said it. Did I say that?
Yes.
Okay, and Izzy said that we did not say this. Right? Izzy was telling me, and I'm pretty sure Izzy wrote it. And Izzy was about to give it up, and I said, no, write it down. I told him. Right? I told him he wrote it, and please say that we did not say this. Right?
But I forget it in a few hours.
And I'm very happy that Leon is our witness. Right? Yeah. So emptiness of objective existence of the object is the objectivity of the object. Emptiness